So I've been meaning to ask, why do we need to have conversations about leadership epiphany in Nigeria today? And what is it really about?
You see, it's a conversation that is long overdue because it's a realization. When we talk about epiphany, it's a realization. You've come to a realization that something will be done differently. And just like when you say eureka, a light bulb, that, man, what's been happening? It's a discovery moment whereby you can start making better choices and better decisions. And why do we need this conversation? One major currency that is sold for us wrongly in Nigeria is a currency of hope. You know, we take hope like, you see, people believe that one day Nigeria will change. You know, just like one day my family will change, one day my business will change, one day. So there's this one day syndrome, there's this hope syndrome that keeps people motivated and keep people hoping for a better tomorrow. And there's a discovery that there's no better tomorrow. In the sense that, you know, we always say everything rises and falls on leadership, and everybody will say, you know what, God, send us a new Messiah, send us someone that would change Nigeria, send us someone that would change this organization. Then I was having this conversation with someone who said, he will send us someone. So you are animal. Because I don't know. It would say, if we can just get someone in this company. So I said, come. You are an animal because are you not someone? So why do we desire other people to be the best of self outside us? We just want to make it look like, you know, if I want a leader, in this company that is understanding, a leader in this company that has grown, but you are the leader. You are the person. And until we come to that realization that if anything or any problem will be solved in the world, it must be you. We must start responding. You know, we call it responsibility. We must start acknowledging that we have the responsibility. You know, a lot of us have gotten to what we call learned helplessness, whereby you believe that somebody will save us, somebody's about to, but what are you doing to yourself? You know, you're waiting for a breakthrough, but you're breaking yourself in your daily habits and you're waiting for a breakthrough. And if you remember this song, I don't think you know this song because it was sung in 1963. And it's called Ilule. Ilule, oh, go to I should try you. You know, so when you look at all those songs over the years, everybody have been open for change. But nobody have taken it upon themselves that, okay, because of me, in my environment, because of me, things will change. Everybody points the finger. We're more window focused. We don't see the man in the mirror. You know, we don't see that come. The change we're looking for, God has sent the person already. God has sent you. God has sent me. So what do? We need to start looking at the man in the mirror and tell that man to change his ways. That's the leadership epiphany. I can tell this in the next 40 years, 50 years in this country, until we see ourselves as the solution to our problems, nothing's going to change. And it starts from where you work, your department. Do they count on you when it really counts? Things are not working, but you're there complaining, but you're not part of what are changing. And that's what we do in this country. We complain and complain and complain and complain. When people gather at newspaper, nobody's bringing solutions. Everybody's complaining. But they're complaining about someone that is not them. They don't see themselves in the picture. And you see, a tree does not make a forest. If there's going to be a spark in this country, it must be all of us, not some of us. You know, some of us make change happen. No, all of us make change happen. And until we take ownership of change, nothing happens. And that's the epiphany, that's the discovery that if we don't make conscious decision and everybody sees the room dirty and nobody's taking up upon themselves, and people say, that room is very dirty, but you were part of the people in the room. Why is it not clean? You know, until you see something and you say, because I'm there, things must be sorted out, then we're not going nowhere. And I can tell you, And every Nigerian is not thinking that way. We believe that somebody will carry it. We believe that somebody will set the chairs. If you have a program, we believe that when we show up, somebody will be there already doing it for us. And when we get there and things are not working, what do? We complain. These people are not serious. Who are the people who will change the world? I love Michael Jackson's song. I said, heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me. So how do you start healing the world? But somebody say, but I'm not at the top. Where you are you healing it? So don't think about the top. Think, because if we promote someone like you to the top, it's the same habit you display at the bottom that you display at the top. And that's the only thing. So we get to fix a building from the foundation. There's no other place to fix the building. So if we don't take ownership and don't have that discovery, and that's why I said the conversation as regard leadership epiphany is long overdue, and it's discovery that this is where the change begins. And that's what leadership epiphany is about.
Wow, you've said a lot, but I need to ask, what can we do? I mean, is all hope lost? Because I hear these conversations back to back and there's really a problem.
Yeah, there is a problem. And of course, but there's a solution. But the solution begins from acknowledgement that nobody's going to save you. It's just like until you get to a point, that you now acknowledge that I'm the only one that can save myself, then change does not begin. So it's acknowledgement first. And number two is start taking actions of ownership. In everywhere we find ourselves, we take ownership. We start becoming a fixer. Anywhere you see things not being fixed, at the least, it's not meant to be big things, because most times we focus on the big things and we fail in the small things. And I remember I read something many years ago, and it's talking about greatness is nothing extraordinary. It's just ordinary things done extraordinary well. So the little things, a little drop, a little step, we can start taking that step and having that conversation. So the department you're heading, will it be the best you've ever had? Will you put in the best? Will you solve all problems? Will you stop complaining? Will you start coming up with solutions? Let's take, for example, and dive down into how people get to the top in the past. Let's talk about Joseph. Let's talk about when that guy, there was a problem. Everybody was talking about the problem. They were talking about, and this guy showed up and said, I can solve the problem. So people love to surround themselves with problem solvers. The more Nigerians become problem solvers, not problem pointers, and saying, what's my place? As simple as you not dropping that bottle on the road. I say, this country is not clean. Are you clean? Are you clean? You drop particles on the road, you wee on the road, and somebody is telling you, don't do that. Say, am I weeing on your road, on your head? And you're saying this bad governance. So there's so much that we have to start fixing. And I can tell you, we've gotten so old. Like when you have people say full at 40, we've gotten so old that it's so hard to change. The older you get, the more difficult it is to change, because your old self loves you. It's called old habits. They love you. Have you seen whereby the old habits are not taking you anywhere? You're not going anywhere, but you just held on to it. It's just addiction. Everybody will always complain about people that are on drugs, that are addicted. Sometimes your habits have taken hold of you, and you're actually on drugs. You're going down, but you're not going to change. Even though you say, I want to change, but you're getting yourself. You're not changing things. And sometimes we must start living a life of sacrifice. We must live bigger than self, because if we always feel, how will I eat from there? If I make it better, others will use it. That's why you should make it better. We start thinking legacy. Legacy means that when I leave, things get better. That's why you see countries like Dubai having 80 years plan. Those guys that are in that plan are not thinking about being part of it. But they know they're going to exit. But they know that when they exit, they want to leave their country a better place. But in this part of the world, so long you're not going to eat from it, you don't want to make it a better place. So, will I be the one? Why shouldn't you make it a better place? So we must start changing our orientation about legacy, about when you leave a department, you don't want it to fail. When you leave an organization, you don't start calling and say, hey, have everybody left? I know they will. We're just spoilers and destroyers. So we need to start changing that conversation. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the words we speak are life. So when we start saying those things, we are declaring bad. We are declaring what will not work. And that's why we should change. So a lot of us are part of the destruction of the country. But we don't know. But we keep pointing hands. And that pointing hands is the epiphany for you to know that as you point hands, I remember my grandfather would say, when you point one hand, others are facing you. So you had the problem. So let's be less window focused and let's start being mirror focused and look at ourselves and say, Chibola, what can I do? How can I go to a country and be a great ambassador of Nigeria? Even when they say Nigeria, Biden, you. Now, are you going to be on the right queue? Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to go to another country and go and be a cultist and go and do what is wrong? And you so look at Nigerians again. Look at Nigerians again. You're now saying our passport is not opening doors. Sometimes when I see what we do, I know why our passport cannot open doors. Because you start saying, why will we do this? So we start living well. So we don't start destroying, because most times the negative is more than the positive. Some Nigerians are changing the world. But their efforts not showing because the negativity is too strong. And we're still complaining. The epiphany is we have the solution and must acknowledge, must start taking action, must embed it into our daily life and daily work. And that will change the way we run our home, the way we run our offices, the way we talk to your friend. So when your friend is complaining about Nigeria, you need to let the person see. So what are you contributing? The people that will be leaders of tomorrow were born like you. They were not dropped from heaven. They took responsibility. Sometimes we have to go and develop ourselves. Because sometimes you might even say, what problems can I even solve now? That shows that you're a problem to even yourself. So what do? Expose yourself. Go and learn. Open your mind. Sometimes just have to go back to school because the mind is shut. Because there's no light bulb. You're not thinking about anything. So you can't solve any problem. So what do? Go and learn more. Take responsibility. When you see a problem in your environment and you see they are struggling with something, be the one that will say, I've carried change on my head. And when that happens, if all of us would think that same way. Somebody said one thing one time, one young man, was passing through, and one old man was pouring water on the plant that was growing in the desert. There was a beautiful plant in the desert. So this old man was pouring water. So this young boy was laughing. Man, why are you doing this? Because this is a desert. So why are you pouring water? Because you're going. And the man said something that stuck to me for life. I read it many years ago. He said, if all of us, because everyone keeps passing this plant every time somebody's passing the desert, if everybody would just drop a cup of water and pour it, and everybody that's passing will drop a cup of water, the plants will grow in the midst of that drought, on the midst of the desert. That means you can make any plants grow, even when there's no water around. If everybody would just drop a cup, even when a cup is not a lot, it's something. Then if all of us are committed to do our own part, to add our own value, to change what you can change, and stop complaining about what we cannot change, Nigeria will be a great country. But if we still keep singing that song, Ilule, since 1963, until now, we're still singing the song, and it's getting worse. People don't even take action anymore. I don't know what will happen in 2080 in Nigeria. I don't know what's going to happen in 2100. 100. Is that 200? That's 200. When we've long gone, we need to take action now. And all our leaders should know they won't be here for long. Sometimes, no matter how old you are, if you're 70 now, 90, 95, you're gone. So think about it. Think about that you're going to look back from heaven and check what you've done, what you could change. You could have been the one that will start that medical center. Even when it's not big, but it can help that community more. So you don't have to say medicals, Nigeria is bad. Can you just let 30 people have better medicals because that was what the Catholics were doing many years ago. Catholics came, and all they came for was to solve problems. They were starting schools. They were coming up with medical centers. They were doing so much. And those guys transformed a lot of Nigerians. So many people have Catholic education. Saint something, Mary Hill, Saint Ignace, Saint, different saints. But now, what are we sainting? And that was in those days when there was even no saint. Now, there's exposure. There's a time that we need to make things work. And I can tell you, if you can take that action, Nigeria will be a better place.
That's amazing. Like, you have really said a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
CEED Academy, your growth partner.